Morning, everyone. I'm Scott Harris, the chair of Landon's Board of Trustees. On behalf of the entire board, I'd like to welcome everyone to Landon's 89th commencement. Please remain standing and join in singing America the Beautiful. Please be seated. It's a true honor for me to be a part of this day for you gentlemen. This is a day that you will undoubtedly remember for the rest of your lives, and I feel privileged to be even a small part of it. Right now, you probably think of today mostly as an ending, and in many ways it is. It's the last day of your being a student here, soaking up the guidance of your spectacular teachers on a daily basis. And it would be easy to think of what you won't have after today. When I was in your shoes, it felt a little strange that this would be called a commencement. But today really does begin not just the next phase of your life as a whole, but the next phase of your Landon experience. And if you're like me, this second part of your Landon experience is just as fulfilling and connected to the school as your first. As you physically leave the school, to colleges and then to jobs and families and participation in the wider community, you'll begin to appreciate how fortunate you have been to have had the Landon experience. The men sitting with you will become some of the closest friends you will ever have. You'll appreciate that when you share joys with them, and even more so when you go through hard times. The wisdom that you've absorbed from your teachers and the coaches and mentors will provide you with insight and perspective on the many difficult decisions that you'll face throughout your life. And you'll appreciate the importance of character and integrity that you've learned here, particularly when you see that the rest of the world doesn't necessarily have it all the time. And in all these things, you'll feel even more connected to Landon and more cognizant of what a spectacular place it is. I was in the class of 1984, so it's been a long time since I was a student here. Hard to imagine even before the Caps had ever won the Stanley Cup. But I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it has been for me to return to the school and to serve on the Board of Trustees. I've had the pleasure to work with Mr. Neal and with so many other spectacular people here. And let me tell you, the school is in outstanding shape, and there are even more exciting things to come. But one of the most meaningful things for me about being part of the board has been having the chance to hear from so many alumni about how meaningful the school has been for them decades after graduation. And I'm confident that you all will feel the same way. So congratulations, and welcome to being a part of a group of very special people who have had the Landon experience.
Good morning. Welcome. My name is Steve Amate, and I'm the current president of the 4,000-member strong Landon Alumni Association. I'm a proud member of the great class of 1983, a class that has graduated 9 sons from Landon, with 2 more graduating today, Will McClure and my son, Kyle Amate. Plus, there's 6 more 83 kids in the pipeline. When I think back to when I was sitting over there 35 years ago, there's no way I could have comprehended that it would take until last night for the Capitals to win their first Stanley Cup. Scott, you took my line, but I had to give it anyhow. Now, what I actually first wrote down before last night was that I could not have comprehended how important Landon and the Landon community would be in my life. Yes, the values, citizenship, and study habits instilled in you at Landon will serve you wherever you go, and your friendships, as I can attest, will last you your whole life, no doubt. But being connected to the whole Landon community, teachers, administrators, fellow alums, and other Landon families will enrich and nurture you throughout your life in so many ways. Whoever enabled you to be part of this Landon community, you owe a debt of gratitude. With that said, I want to welcome the class of 2018 to the Alumni Brotherhood. Stay connected to the school and seek out your bear brothers as you move along in life. And if you find yourself back on campus in 35 years, well, Rob Bordley may still not be here to lay some wisdom on you, get a dog, which I love. I bet Ian Healy will still be here. But actually today, though, I have the distinct honor of presenting the UC Riddleberger Alumni Scholarship Award. This award is named after Landon's second headmaster, of whose namesake griddle at Azaleas Festival has been a favorite of senior classes throughout the years. This prestigious award is given to the Form 5 student who has attained the highest general average for his junior year. About this boy, those who have taught, coached, and advised him has said that this year's winner is a great student and a great young man. One says, with a powerful skill set and affinity for a variety of subjects and disciplines, his approach to school indicates a profound personal sense of responsibility. His in-class note-taking and attentiveness demonstrate a pure commitment to the process of learning. Another says he thinks about why things work and can put together different ideas to come up with novel scientific explanations. The winner of this prestigious award has not only excelled in his courses across the board, but is also the definition of a well-rounded bear. He is a two-sport varsity athlete, and he's continued to grow artistically and produce elaborate, sophisticated artwork. As to this latter point, I can attest. Earlier this year, I was at an art show on campus, and I was admiring this photograph. It was a mountain valley with a lake in it. And then when I got closer, I realized it was a painting by this young man. One faculty member sums it up this student best. He said, he is a once. We get to work with a young man like him once in our careers as educators. Please help me congratulate and welcome to the stage this year's UC Riddleberger Alumni Scholarship Award recipient, Harrison Muth. There he is. Jill, he's coming.
Good morning. My name is Brett McMahon. I am the 2017-2018 President of Landon Fathers Club. Fathers Club lends support to many of Landon student programs, projects, and community events that we try and do with our sons to help provide that example and enhance their experience here. We also present various awards to honor students academically and in citizenship, motivation, and service to Landon. In addition to that, while being the father of John, class of 2018 here, his younger brother Michael, class of 21, brother of Hunt, class of 1988, and I am a member of the better class of 1985. Along with, we have at least 2 alumni here, or 3 out of my class so far, so greatly appreciated. The Landon Fathers Club Citizenship Award is presented to the graduating senior who has demonstrated the highest standards of school citizenship in unselfishness, integrity, courage, and spirit. As a student, this graduate approaches every class with a seriousness of purpose, a love for learning, and an unmatched honesty and respect. As an athlete, this young man is an inspiring leader in the football and lacrosse programs. With the student council, he demonstrated repeatedly that he is a natural-born leader with exceptional integrity, unmatched tenacity, and steadfast resiliency. He serves out of the spotlight and without fanfare, but effectively, graciously, and selflessly. He is the ultimate team player and does whatever needs to be done to help Landon. As a prefect, this young man sets the highest standard for the Landon community at large. He spoke about Landon's ethics and leadership program to administrators at a recent AIMS conference and to fellow students about his personal choice to abstain from alcohol and drugs. He gave countless hours teaching ethics lessons to both middle and lower school students and proctoring in the library and media center. He responds to every call of duty put before him. I am very, very proud on behalf of the Landon Fathers Club and as an alumnus to welcome Justin Herbert up to accept the Landon Fathers Club Citizenship.
Good morning. I am not Kira Blazer, but my name is Tomi Fidei Jones, and I'm the proud mother of 2 Landon Bears, Aday's class of 2019 and Deji's class of 2024. I'm also the incoming chair for the Landon Mothers Association. So today I am representing Kira Blazer, the outgoing chair of the Landon Mothers Association. Kira served tirelessly and with dedication to Landon throughout this last year, but out-of-state family commitment prevents her from being here today, so representing Kira. The Landon Mothers Association's primary mission is to enrich the Landon experience for our boys, their families, and our faculty. We do this by with various activities and special events during the year. So I'm particularly honored to present the Malcolm Coates Students Activities Award, named for our 3rd headmaster, to the graduating senior who's demonstrated outstanding, constructive participation in non-athletic activities. Of the many comments offered about this young man, there are common threads that describe their respect for his excellence in so many areas of Landon life. His participation, commitment, and preparation for the theatrical arts at Holton and Landon have been exceptional. As a member of the Landon Symphonette, he's an able clarinetist with good intonation and technical skill. His dedication to service is also extraordinary. As a co-president of the Upper School Community Service Club, he coordinated Spring Day and Fall Day for underprivileged youth and Inova Red Cross Blood Drive. In the last 2 years, he's managed the ever-popular Day 8 donut and bagel sales. During his 4 years in the club, he participated in numerous service projects, including the Salvation Army, Great Patrol, Bikes for the World, Meals on Wheels, Special Olympics, basketball, and traveled on mission trips to San Pedro Sula to help empower women in developing countries. In addition to all of this, this young man is also a 3-sport athlete. So whether it's performing on stage, serving the community, or competing with his teammates, he's defined by extraordinary work ethic, an unwavering positive attitude, and constant effort to support and look out for others. On behalf of the Landon Mothers Association, I'm honored to present the Malcolm Coates Student Activities Award to Sam Hansen.
morning. The Ellie Johnson Award is given annually to a senior who embodies its core values of creativity, innovation, ingenuity, or artistic merit. When asked about the student, Ms. John replied, "Teachers love to talk about their once-in-a-lifetime students. They are the ones who seem to come out of nowhere, fly beyond your expectations, and leave you wondering how you were lucky enough to have them in your classroom. Mostly, you just sit, or you just want to sit and marvel at what they're able to accomplish. This senior is, without a doubt, the most talented student photographer I've ever come across. While many specialize in one style of photography, he is equally skilled whether shooting landscapes, portraits, or candid street photography. He can go from taking sports photos at a championship soccer game for the yearbook to capturing a stunning and award-winning portrait of a herd of zebras to finding the perfect moment to depict the DC Metro at rush hour. He sees the world in a fantastic, creative, and profoundly insightful way, and it shines through in his art." I think the cat is out of the bag. Right, boys? Who's winning this? Upper school English teacher and cross-country coach Tom Teixeira wrote, "I've been fortunate enough to witness Matthew in action as he pursues his passion for photography. He is a true gift that I know many of his classmates, the faculty and staff at Landon truly appreciate. As evidence, several of his photos hang on the walls of the communications office, providing us with more inspiration than one of those posters with a cat hanging from a branch ever could." The accolades Matt Lowry has accumulated over the last few years only drive home how deserving he is of this award. He started his upper school career with media arts as a freshman, then as a sophomore earned the Drew Doggett Award, was a semifinalist of the Best of the Independent Schools art competition, and is awarded an honorable mention of the Scholastics art and writing competition. In addition to his amazing talent, he is also incredibly connected to and supportive of the Landon community. He has become a go-to photographer for every event that has been needed, from the homecoming football game to the ethics assemblies to the middle school play and the ever cross-country meet. The ways he has found to give back to the Landon through his art are numerous and appreciated. Congratulations to this year's Ellie Johnson Award winner, Matthew Lowry.
ourselves and yet go on, build not borrow. We will build, not borrow. We belong among the rest, find ourselves, be at our best, and gathering new momentum, flying solo, use what I've been taught, ready or not, flying solo, flying solo. Gathering speed, I'm head on, flying solo, leave the world I know, with what I've learned in tow, flying solo.
Look at this next verse. This cancels purgatory. And besides all this, between us and you, there is a great chasm fixed. I read fixed grammar. Fixed. So those who wish to come over from here to you will not be able, and that none may cross over.
Good morning. My name is Paul Padalino, and I am the Interim Athletic Director. It is my privilege today to present the William Harrison Triplet Award, which is given each year to the graduating senior who not only made significant contributions to the sports program, but who also had superior qualities of teamwork, respect for opponents, and regard for the spirit of the game. This year's winner, lettered 8 times in 2 varsity sports, a member of the varsity football and lacrosse teams for 4 years, he has had an impact from the first day he walked on campus. I remember watching him as an 8th grader playing for Blessed Sacrament football along with several of his current classmates, and it was evident that night that this young man had a true competitive nature. A few short months later, the summer before his freshman year, Landon had entered a JV and varsity lacrosse team in a local tournament. The young man was playing with the JV group, and the coaches came by to see the varsity guys and said, "You need to see this new guy." So Coach Boardley, begrudgingly, decided to bring him over to see him play with the varsity group. Our award recipient went on to score several goals that day, and thus began his career as one of Landon's most decorated and accomplished lacrosse players. This young man went on to be a starter on 4 IAC championship teams, 3 in lacrosse and 1 in football. He is a 2-time captain of the football team and a captain of this year's lacrosse team. He has been named All-IAC the past 3 years as a football player and a lacrosse player, and IAC Player of the Year in lacrosse this year as well. In the sport of lacrosse, the Washington Post has already recognized him 3 times, and I'm sure he will soon earn his 4th in the coming days. Twice as an honorable mention All-Met, and most certainly a 2-time first-team All-Met selection, and maybe a little bit more. He is a 2-time USILA All-American and was named to the Under Armour All-American team this past year. As a junior, he was named to the U.S. Lacrosse. As a junior, he was named as the U.S. Lacrosse Regional and National Player of the Year. For his senior year, he has been selected by the Maryland Coaches Association as the Kelly Award recipient, which is given to the best lacrosse player in the state of Maryland, the first in Landon history. I'm sure he will earn a few more awards over the coming weeks. The young man holds all of Landon's career scoring records for most points, goals, and assists. He shattered the career goals and points total, surpassing the previous records during his junior season. He also holds a single season record for goals scored with 75, as well as a total points scored with 123. These numerous accolades and accomplishments are just a byproduct of all the true traits we value at Landon. Coach Rob Borley has said, "This young man is the hardest working athlete I've seen in my career. He can always be found in the quiet moments when only a few are around, lifting, shooting, just trying to get better. He is one of the most competitive young men I have had the pleasure to coach, who continuously puts his team first, whether it's stepping back or filling in a position. He is willing to do what is needed to help his team win." It is often these little things that separate this young man, the work behind the scenes, or the moments with his teammates that make him stand out. His true character was demonstrated when, in his last football game of his career at St. Albans, he offered one of his fellow senior teammates his spot representing the team at the coin toss. This year's winner is a young man that displayed humility and sportsmanship throughout his career. We are proud of not only what he accomplished on the field, but how he earned all of the accolades that have been bestowed upon him these past 4 years. I look forward to watching him continue his academic and lacrosse career at Johns Hopkins University. It is my great pleasure to present the 2018 Triplet Award to Joey Epstein.
Good morning. I am not Michael Derwinski. I am Andy Katz, the Senior Dean. I'd like to start off first by letting everybody know that this morning we held a bone marrow drive for the first time, a tradition to hopefully start from now on. We had a goal of having 40 guys enter the bone marrow registry, and we had 42 this morning, so congratulations, guys. I have the honor of doing the Carol Mercer Marbear Award for spirit of fearlessness and tenacity of purpose. The young man who is receiving this award today has persevered through a tremendous amount of adversity in his upper school career. Academically, Landon was sure to be a challenge without his dedication, drive, and tenacity. In humanities, Mr. Doherty remarked, "This student is one of the hardest working students in class. He is always trying to improve." On the fields, those who have watched him perform in tough circumstances are always amazed by his fearlessness. His advisor, John Balashi, summed it up well. "What is most impressive about this player is how he does it. Quietly, but fiercely. Confidently, but humbly. Fundamentally, but spectacularly." We're all looking forward to his successes as a student athlete next year at the University of Maryland. Please join me in congratulating the winner of the Carol Mercer Marbear Award, John Gepper.
Good morning. The Headmaster's Award is given to a 5th grade, a 2nd form, and a 6th form student for general excellence, citizenship, and participation in the life of the lower, middle, and upper schools respectively. It is the most prestigious award bestowed on a student by the faculty. Prior to acknowledging today's upper school recipient, I'd like to recognize the 2018 lower school and middle school Headmaster's Award winners who were recognized earlier at the respective award ceremonies who join us today. The lower school headmaster award winner is Tiller Smith. Tiller, please stand so we can acknowledge you. The middle school headmaster award winner is Kadari Machin. Kadari, please stand. Well done, boys, on earning the respect and admiration of the faculty. Intelligence, kindness, hard work, modesty, and innate and relentless intellectual curiosity describes this year's Upper School Headmaster Award winner. The student certainly sets the bar as one of our most talented, if not the most talented, intellectual minds of the class of 2018. He's naturally inquisitive, loves learning for the sake of learning rather than achievement, and engages in each class authentically, humbly, and honorably. He is enrolled in the most rigorous of classes at Landon and has earned commendations from every teacher in every class. Some examples: 2015 Freshman Ethics Scholar, 2016 Excellence in Geometry, Excellence in Pre-Calculus, Father's Book Club Prize Award winner, RPI Medal Award winner, Riddleberger Award. I can keep on going, but I won't. His humanities teacher is Mr. Foley Smits. While he was always eminently thoughtful in his class discussions, he's emerged as a driving force behind most of our philosophical conversations. In particular, he's at the center of virtually every discussion of objective truth. Math chair and turbo pre-calculus teacher, Ms. Lubin, shares, he makes one of the hardest classes in high school look easy. He strides through difficult problems without an ounce of confusion. He focuses intently on new material being presented to him, and he absorbs the concepts instantaneously. I'm not sure how he does it, but it's enjoyable for me to watch a student have that much success and at the same time be so modest. What is even better about him as a person is that he's always willing to help his fellow bear. In addition to being an exceptional student, this year's Headmaster Award recipient has expressed himself artistically as a member of the Landon Chamber Singers and Baritones and as an actor in the school's musical. Choral director Mr. Wu offers, he's the engine of the baritone section in Chamber Singers and Baritones. His enthusiasm for singing, moving, and making music elevates how baritones and chamber singers approach these opportunities. Athletically, he served as co-captain of the cross-country team, was a member of the upper school riflery team, and has competed for the outdoor track program. Cross-country coach Mr. DiChiara offers, it has been so gratifying to see him blossom from a quiet, unassuming freshman to one of the hardest working, strongest leaders on the team the senior year. He leads in the most important way, by example. While this year's recipient of the Headmaster's Award is clearly a gifted student and has meaningfully contributed to the athletic and arts program, what makes this individual especially worthy of the award is the way he goes about accomplishing all that he does every day at Landon. Never self-centered or arrogant, he treats everyone he encounters with respect and kindness. He's quick to help out his fellow bear. He gives his very best at all times, and his intentions and actions are always honorable and constructive. As some of his teachers suggest, there is a grace and effortless that exudes while accomplishing so much. I feel very blessed to have served as this young man's advisor for the past 4 years. During that time, through conversation, observation, and my own personal reflection, I've come to know this young man to be deeply reflective, exactingly intentional, immensely patient, exceedingly humble, and above all, exceptionally kind. In so many ways, he very much has transformed into the man that we, parents and educators alike, dream our boys will transform when we first send them off to school or welcome them into our classrooms. This year's Headmaster's Award winner for General Excellence, Citizenship, and Participation in the Life of the School, on behalf of the upper school faculty, it is my honor to recognize Harrison Smith as the 2018 Upper School Headmaster's Award winner.
Good morning. My name is Charles Franklin. I'm the assistant headmaster here. We now take a moment to recognize two members of the faculty and staff through the presentation of the Alice S. Casamano Award and the Mary Lee and Paul Landon Banfield Award. Both are selected by a committee that includes the heads of the 3 divisions, the headmaster, and me. For both awards, a large silver bowl that has all the recipients' names engraved on it resides in the headmaster's office. Each recipient also receives a smaller engraved bowl with their name on it. The Alice F. Casamano Award goes to a non-teaching member of the administration or staff who has made a significant contribution to the life of the school and who is an embodiment of the professionalism, enthusiasm, loyalty, and commitment to service that makes life better for every member of our school community. This year's award winner is a woman through who her hard work has played a key role in helping develop deep and meaningful relationships between families, students, and faculty and staff. Her commitment to Landon, first as a parent and for the last decade as a member of the staff, shines through in all that she does. For her excellent work in connecting families to the Landon experience, this year's recipient is Cindy Peters. The Mary Lee and Paul Landon Banfield Award goes to a member of the faculty who has made a significant contribution to the life of the school and who exemplifies the quality of mind and spirit most valued by the founders: integrity, self-discipline, responsibility, conservatism, imagination, and beauty. This year's recipient is a person of the highest integrity and professionalism. His dedication to the boys and his colleagues is exemplary, and he exudes humility and a warm sense of humor. In addition to his outstanding work with our Handbells program, he also serves as a role model for both faculty and students across campus. I am pleased to award this year's Banfield Award to an excellent educator and a trusted colleague, Mr. Jim Krieger.
Good morning. I'm Trey Armstrong, and I'm here to present the class gift to Landon. And on behalf of the class of 2018, we would like to give the rest of the money that we have in our class fund to the school. So there it is.
Good morning. I've attended quite a few ethics assemblies here at Landon, some enthusiastically, many more not so much. And despite all of that, I want to put humility on pause just for a moment and brag about this class here, the class of 2018. These guys are stellar. I love these guys, and there's a strong case to be made that this is the greatest class to come through Landon, possibly ever. Everyone in our class is exceptional at something, really, truly. And if there's someone in this class who you think, I don't really know what that kid's good at. You just don't know him well enough because there is something that they are better at than anyone else you know. This talent and this, all of this skill has allowed us to achieve quite a bit. The class of 2018 is the most winningest class ever to come through Landon. We've won. We won 6 ISC championships this year, which is a record. We've broken a couple cold streaks, and we've set some school records too in a variety of sports: lacrosse, wrestling, swimming, and some others as well. But athletics is really just the beginning. This class has been a big deal in the music and art departments too. We've always had, now this is more subjective, but I believe we've always had the best art in the gallery and at the Azalea Festival throughout my time here at Landon. In the music department, I've heard us called numerous times one of the greatest classes to come through in many years. So that's a real achievement. Nice work. And finally, these guys are wicked smart. There are countless times I've just been having a conversation or sitting in class or whatever where someone says something, I'm like, wow, what an amazing memory or an amazing vocabulary or what a strong connection. And that happens all the time here. These guys, they've always been the grade to overfill the honors classes, and they've made quick work of the most difficult curriculum Landon has to offer. They've taken us exceptionally far in a multitude of state and national academic competitions as well. It's just amazing. These guys are truly incredible, and I'm blessed to be one of them. So thank you. When I first sat down to write this, I instinctively wrote, Landon is a special place. But I quickly realized that maybe that's not quite right. Landon isn't just a physical location. We talk about 6101 inside the White Rocks, but these are symbols. These are symbols for something greater. Don't get me wrong, I think that our campus is amazing. I've received many compliments on it, even by visiting teams. So thank you to the grounds crew for all of the hard work that they do. I believe that what really makes an institution is its people. So I think it would be better to say Landon is a special community. Now, I'm sure that this claim is being made at graduations across the nation. So I want to share some proof that Landon truly stands out. Not many weeks ago, our lacrosse team had an away game at a place you might call the Reform School on the Pike, Georgetown Prep. Side note, I'm actually grateful and glad to have the little Hoyas because we get to enjoy beating them all the time at pretty much everything. Anyway, at this away game at Prep, we had a cheering section that was clearly larger than theirs. It must have been very embarrassing for them, I'm sure. But the point is that we support our brothers on the road even more than many schools do at home. So when I call Landon a special community, that's not just some throwaway line. That's something I truly believe. These guys, everyone, all the Bears here, we're always there for each other. And we're always working hard. Everyone here would be willing to endure a significant amount of trouble and pain for their classmates, and that's something really special. And they have. It's not just something that speculatively they would do. They really have. What makes Landon's community so tight and so enthusiastic? I think that it is our pride. Definitely, this is a core element of our community. We are all united by our pride in ourselves, our pride in each other, and our pride in Landon as a whole. In my experience with the class of 2018, this pride has come from our overwhelming achievement in every area. And I would have to say that much of this is due to our faculty. Classes come and go through Landon, but the faculty, they're always here working hard. They're the constant. Faculty like Mr. Boardley are truly, foundational pillars of this institution, and I think we owe them great thanks for, what happens here at Landon. We are men of character who excel in athletics, academics, and the arts. And I really want to illustrate how our coaches teach this to us and our teachers as well. Our coaches out on the fields, they form personal relationships with every athlete, making sure that every individual really works to fulfill their fullest potential. Not what we think we can do, but what they know we can do, which is always so much more. They also keep the bigger picture in mind. They realize that often sports are really about teaching life lessons. On Landon's fields, we learn that we can be much tougher than we ever expected. We learn discipline, that working hard in the short run, no matter how unpleasant it may be, will lead us to our long-term goals. And we build stronger bonds with each other, forming friendships to last the rest of our lives. And I've had coaches, especially on the cross-country team, we've had coaches, and they'll come running with us. These coaches, they don't just point and say, go run laps, go work out, go do this, go do that. They are always there alongside you, whether it's on the fields or even in the classrooms. They're building bonds as well. Our classrooms are also filled with stellar teachers. Many times I've been sitting in class when there's this really special moment. You see your teacher kind of smile. It's like a smirk of anticipation and excitement for whatever subject they're about to introduce. And I think that these moments demonstrate how much Landon's faculty love what they teach, and they love teaching it. This love for a subject is contagious, and it often spreads to the students, sparking a curiosity which motivates learning, I think, better than anything else could. And it leaves a desire for intellectual exploration in the future, which we will keep with us for the rest of our lives. Our music and art departments are the same way. They're filled with faculty who love what they teach. This is demonstrated throughout the year when they practice their different arts and show them off at events like concerts or the Azalea Festival. These teachers spend the time and energy to patiently work with us as we seek to refine our skills, and believe me, very patiently. It's tough. I found it tough, at least personally, and I think many of us had. Learning skills in music and arts, it really takes a lot of time, and for our faculty with their such stellar resumes, it may be frustrating for them to see us fail on our way to success. And the whole time that we are in the classroom or on the field, Landon is developing our character too. I think that the fact that we don't lock our lockers here at Landon really exhibits the honor which has been infused into our education. I didn't truly appreciate Landon until recently, and I maybe don't even now, maybe I will many years down the road, until graduation started knocking on my door. For many years, I knew that this day would come, but I never fully understood what it meant. It means that my time is up to take advantage of all the opportunities here at Landon. When I finally internalized this, I was very upset. So I want to spend some time warning the younger bears that the situation is urgent and that you are rapidly running out of time. And I don't actually see many younger bears here today, so I think that this really actually applies to all of us, wherever we are. Landon unequivocally changed my life, and I've heard countless alumni and peers say the same. And for the younger bears, I want you all to have the same experience that we did. So your house is on fire, and you just haven't noticed it yet. This is serious. I'm trying to make it serious. I want you to realize the urgency here. You're about to be forced to leave. Your house is going to burn down. And now, while you have the chance, you need to grab everything valuable that you can. Every moment is like this. Every day, every year is a house fire. You really don't have that much time, and you have a lot to do. There are gems everywhere, and we miss many of them, but whatever you can, grab it while you have the chance. At Landon, these gems are all over, and I would say to the younger Bears, be brave and, risk embarrassment, in art or in music, and this is tough. I know that, especially as I was a younger member of the Landon community, I was very worried about singing and embarrassing myself. Those can be vulnerable moments. But it's worth the risk. So join baritones or jazz band or paint and display whatever you've made. Also in the classrooms, make the effort to become engaged. Ask questions or answer questions even if you may look like an idiot, because it's worth it. You'll learn. And one thing that I found very helpful to me here at Landon, it's kind of counter to conventional wisdom, but reinvent the wheel. That's something I've done which really helps me, because you kind of really learn the ins and outs of whatever you're studying, and you may come up with something better. And finally, it's worth it to put in the extra work to make an impact on your teams or to make varsity. And I've realized that you can't be motivated every day, but having discipline, having a schedule, that's the way to really get these things done. I would be remiss not to use our class motto for the year, stay true. So I'll say, stay true to yourself throughout this process, but definitely branch out. Explore every opportunity here at Landon, or not at Landon, wherever you are, and be willing to grow. For example, I had always considered myself an academic, but when I decided to invest energy and effort into athletics, I learned some of the most valuable lessons of my life. It can be daunting to invest yourself in new things, but I promise to you younger Bears that your brothers will always be there for you as you take the initiative to try new things. Every day, we all have a choice to do what's easy or to do what's best. Please, and this is for me too, I'm definitely not there yet, but we all need to do whatever it takes to make the most of our short time, wherever it is, here at Landon or somewhere else, because we're about to blink and our time will be up. For especially the juniors, you're about to blink and find yourself in one of these chairs, and just like me, you'll realize that you will no longer have any more opportunities to take advantage of all the great things here at Landon. So now, take advantage of them. This means not waiting around passively to improve. It means taking directed, conscious action to become a better version of ourselves. The opportunities are here at Landon, so they just need to be seized. The faculty, as I said before, they really provide, and they do a lot of work to help us become the best we can be, but we need to kind of meet them in the middle, do that second half, and that's what these guys have done. That's why they're so excellent. I promise that becoming better, growing, being successful, some days it will hurt. I promise that. But it's worth it in the end. These guys, they're willing to be uncomfortable on their way to greatness. That's why they're so amazing. Some days may feel like an eternity here at Landon because you're working hard. But once you get up here, you'll feel like there's just not enough time. The days may feel long at Landon, but the years are definitely too short. So on the behalf of the class of 2018, even though no amount of thanking will ever be enough, I'm going to try anyway. Thank you to the entire community for giving us such a wonderful experience here at Landon. I'm remembering Mr. Banfield's quote in the atrium, "To grow up soft is a mortal sin." Landon has put a lot of time into making us tougher, but we love this community so much that leaving here is enough to make, I'm sure, even the tough of us maybe shed a tear. Throughout this week, I've thought to myself often, I don't want it to end. This is a painful thought, but I've realized that just because we're graduating does not mean we are no longer Bears. I'm filled with anticipation and excitement to witness everything Landon will achieve over the coming decades. I hope that we do not stay the greatest class forever. I know that for the rest of my life, I will be extremely proud to declare I am a Landon man. Thank you.
Thank you, Harrison. Good morning, everyone. I printed this speech so that I could read it in all caps. No? I've done. Anyway, such a pleasure to be with you here to celebrate the class of 2018 as we close the 89th year in our school's history. And despite what we might hear daily in the press about the craziness out there, I can't but help and look out at all of you and look out at all of you guys, the class of 2018, on such a beautiful, if a bit warm, early summer morning here on our beloved campus, and really only 12 hours removed from a wonderful and long-awaited Stanley Cup victory, and think to myself, as Louis Armstrong famously sang, what a wonderful world. And so it is. This is what is real and true. And so I say to you again, a heartfelt welcome. I want to thank Scott and Steve and Harrison for your inspiring and thoughtful reflections this morning. Thank you again to Rob and Kyle and Trey for your wonderful words last night, and to Sean for his outstanding comments at the senior dinner. All of these are part of the series of ceremonies that culminate in today. This past week and month, and indeed this past year, have been filled with numerous lasts, all leading up to this event. The class of 2018, the largest in Landon's history, they are an extraordinary, talented, diverse, and dedicated group of young men. There is so much of this class collectively and individually that is solid and good and worthy of today's celebration. Here before us is a group of whom we are, for good reason, very proud, a group for whom we are, for good reason, very grateful. We've heard them described in superlative terms, one of the strongest, brightest in Landon history, and they have, to say the least, represented Landon well. And today, we charge them with continuing to do so as they move on to the next step in their journeys. These bears, so dapperly attired, are headed to some 58 different colleges and universities. More than a third of them will fan out across the mid-Atlantic. About a fifth will head south, a fifth will head north. The rest are moving to the Midwest, to the Rockies, to California, one to England, one to Japan. It's a group that's been together for a while, with about 3/4 of them coming to Landon in the lower or the middle school, and 20 of them have been together since 3rd grade. This group is thinkers and creators, athletes and artists, singers and actors, leaders, servers, activists, friends, brothers. However and whenever they got here, they've joined together as a single team with a commitment to one another, to principle, and as we heard from Harrison, to this place, as evidenced by their motto for the year, stay true. They've done that, and I hope they'll continue to do so. And now we reach the end. Now we reach this culminating year, this culminating moment. Now it is time to go. Some of you may know that I, too, am the parent of a graduating senior, or I should say a graduated senior, as her school's ceremony was this past Tuesday. So I think I understand pretty well what the parents here today may be feeling, and perhaps have a little bit of a glimpse into what you boys may be feeling as well. It's a special mix of excitement and nostalgia, of exhilaration and emotion, a blend of pride and satisfaction and hope and perhaps some relief. There's also worry, some anxiety, and in a very tangible way, a sensing of the passage of time. But above all, I think and I hope the main feeling today is one of happiness, is one of celebration, joy in the day and in the hard work that's brought us here. And in the persons these young men are becoming, as well as the burgeoning opportunities that are beginning to open to them. So I speak today with something of a blended viewpoint, that of a parent of a recent graduate and that of a school head. And for that reason, I found myself a little bit stuck in terms of what to say, not because I was at a loss, but rather because I bring to this moment a father's urgency in wanting to impart perhaps too much, not to leave anything out at such a pivotal moment. And so it was in the midst of feeling this way in recent days that I noticed I had a phrase from my years of teaching English that for whatever reason kept bouncing around in my head. It's a line from a Renaissance poem, and it reads simply, "Fool, look in thy heart and write." I realized that's what I should do. So, boys, indulge me if I speak to you now for a few minutes, not just as head of Landon, but like the people out in front of you today, as a parent who brings hopes and fears of all the parents sitting here today. And I don't think what I'm going to tell you is either complex or new, but it's heartfelt. So here goes. I interview a lot of people in my job, prospective Landon employees, and one of the questions I often hear from them is, what do you love about Landon? What brought you here? And my answer is always the same. I start by talking about you, the students, and you, the faculty, and you, the parents, and the general sense of community who make this place up. I speak about the very humanizing and holistic approach to educating boys that we call teacher, coach, mentor, the special bonds of kinship that exist among the boys, we've heard about that, and with the teachers, the importance of a boys' school, and the rich and demanding program that we offer. I also always wrap up my response to this question by pointing to a framed copy of the Code of Character that hangs on the wall in my office. And I do this not only because the values it embodies are central to what matters most to me about Landon, but also because the ability to impart such virtues and values is why I chose to work in education in the first place. The very fact that such principles are foundational and central to our school's reason for being is what engages and inspires and compels me forward as an educator. You boys know these virtues. You've heard us speak about them and extol them over and over. Honesty and civility, perseverance and teamwork, fair play, honor. And as I thought about them and the poet's direction to speak from the heart, I realized that the message I wanted to relay to you today was simply this: take these values seriously. Take them with you. Don't leave them behind as you might an old textbook or a worn-out Landon uniform or a blazer that you wore during your years here. Instead, internalize them. That is my, and I'd like to think all of our message to you on this Landon's last chance to deliver such a message to you while you're still students here. As you leave this place, choose to make these values a part of who you become. And the reason for this is very simple. They matter. They matter not just as words on a page, but more as guideposts for living and for making decisions and for developing into the men you will become. These principles, these values are really, really important. Our world is in desperate need not just of these principles, but of persons who believe in and have the personal fortitude and the moral courage and the strength of character and the leadership ability to do something with these principles, to live them out, to speak up for them, and to call forth a society and a social order that is defined by them. So be those leaders, be those men. This is what my parent heart and my head of school heart told me to say to you today. Be men of honor. Be those men who tell the truth and whose word is their bond, who treat others, all others, with respect and kindness and courtesy, who work hard and selflessly with others towards the betterment of the whole, who act and speak with decency and dignity and humility, and whose deeds and words reveal characters of both integrity and personal responsibility. Be those men. as you called on us to do earlier this year in selecting the theme Stay True, so we now say back to you, stay true. Stay true to the principles you've learned here. And in so doing, you will stay true to this place. You will stay true to those who've worked so hard to support you, to one another, and to yourselves. And it won't be us calling on you to do that every day. It must be you. We hope we have done enough so that the values of the school are now your own values. Today's something of a commissioning of you, a public acknowledgement that much as you put your name next to the principles in the code of character each year when you signed it, Landon and I, as representative of all here today, are literally putting our names next to yours. That is what you will see on the diplomas that I hand you in a second. It's a symbol of our endorsement of you, and it is not an insignificant thing. All of us are gathered here now, not only because we love you, but also because we want to be witnesses to this sending forth of you into the world as young men of Landon. So in closing, allow me to say to you one last time as Landon students, go Bears. But this time in a slightly different way. Today I use that phrase in the sense of go forward as Bears. That is, as Landon men who will live out the values of this place and who understand that, to quote Robert Kennedy, the purpose of life is to contribute in some way to making things better. I believe you can and will do that. Gentlemen, congratulations on a job well done. Thank you for your hard work and your dedication. We have faith and high hopes for where your journeys are leading you. Take care of yourselves, make us proud, stay connected to one another, and come back to visit. God bless you.
Syed Al-E. Kyle Michael Amate. Michael Claude Amsalem. Leonard Armstrong III. Henry Ernest Turner Atkins. Henry Collins Baker. Thomas Denniston Baldwin. Bryce Arrington Baylor. Michael J. Berkowitz. Michael Freeman Branch. Alexander Edward Brown. Michael David Carr. Ariant Chada. Henry Miguel Chipperfield. Douglas Matthews Schreit. Owen Thomas Kincannon. Tyne Fung Shu. Alidad Danshvar. Miles Wendell Davis. Spencer Wales Davis. John Alexander DeNovio. Devin Anand Desai. Joel Andre DeRoche. Rohan Doki. Nikola Zoran Dravakovich. Christopher Riley Duplessis. Andrew Yen Engel. Joseph Healy Epstein. Alexander Daniel Freed. Ryan Christopher Fruworth. Brendan Ryan Gallagher. Brett Aaron Gallagher. John Thomas Skeppert. Peter Russell Gilbert. John Robert Graham. Harrison Henry Gray. Alexander McGuire Hagerup. Nicholas Brett Cole Holler. Noah McGavin Hannum. Samuel Alexander Hansen. Justin Edward Herbert. Malcolm Baldridge Hollensteiner Jr. Aiden Raymond Howe. David Shame Huberman. Carter Thomas Johnson. Zachary Michael Johnson. Maxim Devore Capolina. Nicholas Bonani Kinnery. Peter Montgomery King. Oops. William Henry Lamadou King. Roger Allen Cuppa II. Douglas Patrick Landers. Julian Bernard Rosselier. Parker Samuel Lotstein. Matthew Harris Lowry. Juyen Liu. Leonardo August Maldonado. William West McClure III. Hugh Leo McLaughlin IV. Brendan David McClanahan. You got it. John Richard McMahon. Michael Gerson Melman. Chase Manuel Menendez. Charles Daniel Nagel. Beckett James Norris. Nicholas Alexander Pappas. Andrew Scott Parker. Justin James Patterson. Maximo Coffee Peraza. John Lucas Papera. Alexander Joseph Riel. Lee Romney Rose. Luke Edward Shermer. Gilbert Lewis Centimore II. James West Shaw. Muhammad A. Silla Jr. Harsh Singh. Harrison Lloyd Smith. Jacob Andrew Solomon. Gregory Matthew Strabo. Tyler Francis Sweeney. Stephen Parker Swensrud. Samuel Landis Tayshoff. Reginald H. Taylor Smith. Kevin Joseph Sy. Christopher John Waldron. William Henry Davis Walker. Andrew Phillips Wellington. Zechariah Ellis Warren. Theodore Saunders Witt. Ladies and gentlemen, it was with great pride and pleasure I present to you the class of 2018.
Congratulations to the class of 2018. Happy summer to all of you. Please join us in the Perkins Garden for a reception.